Hey guys, what's up? It's Darkmech here and welcome back to another video. Sorry it has been so long. I'm in the process, or we are in the process, of selling our house at the moment. So I actually haven't been living here and it has been killing my WoW time pretty much. I am down to like 3 to 4 hours a week of WoW right now and it is like going cold off crack. It is rather rubbish, but it's just what it is at the moment. So it really stalled this video in coming out. Today I wanted to give my 2 cents on leveling. So I just finished leveling my Void Elf and I wanted to sort of go through my entire process of that, how I found it, yada yada yada. And I wanted to actually get this a week out after Allied Races came, and here we are. So I am really sorry about that, but that's just kind of been how I've been pressed at the moment. So I leveled a Void Elf Warrior, which I thought was going to be quick. First mistake. Would have been better off making a Hunter. That aside, it wasn't too bad. My biggest thing with leveling, which I'm going to say straight up, is that I think it's a fantastic change that Blizzard made. I think the scaling world is really good. The reason for that is I think it brings something back to leveling, and I also think it makes people have to change the thought process and their perception of what leveling is going to be like and is like now. So back in the day, 0 to 60, you leveled up, it was a huge process. You got to the end of 60 and you felt like you had really achieved something. I remember when I got to 60, I thought it was massive. I thought it was this huge achievement. I'd just gone through this massive time sink. It was stupid, it was huge, but I got there and I actually felt really proud. Flip that over, the other side of the game then started from level 60, but leveling was its own thing. I think the perception that we've had of leveling for so long is that it was just in the way. Now don't get me wrong, the majority of WoW, hands down, no argument, is endgame. It's what the game is centered all around. However, leveling became such a useless nuisance speed hump in our way that it lost all meaning. So when scaled worlds came in, the natural reaction to that was that you couldn't 0 to 100 in a really quick amount of time anymore. And don't get me wrong, there are still people that would be able to flat out level, I've got no doubts, and probably get to 0 to 120 hours or something ridiculous like that. I have no idea, but I'm sure they're out there. Myself, I am not a super fast-paced leveler. I don't know where all the quests are. I don't know which is the best zones to go via pathing or anything like that. I'm just average Joe when it comes to leveling. So what I did with my leveling approach was I actually picked out the zones that I needed for Lore Master, because the new chapter system that they have is really good for achieving Lore Master titles or achievements to go towards that. So the path that I went, which is far than ideal, I started off in Duskwood, I then went to Northern Stranglethorn Vale. Now, I started leveling in the week 1 or day 1 that Allied Races came out. Going to Northern Stranglethorn Vale was a really dumb fucking idea. The reason being is I got ganked over and over again. My levels went from about 13 minutes apiece to 25 to 29 minutes because I spent so much time running back to my body. But that's all a part of leveling, and that's what it used to be like as well. I then went to Loch Modan, which was a lot better. Those starting zones, obviously the quests are a lot tighter, the hubs are a lot closer. Those starting zones are much better in regards to being able to craft your own way through Scaling World and being able to level quicker and quicker if that's what you're after. I then went to Wetlands, I then went to the Hinterlands, Western Plaguelands, Eastern Plaguelands, Redridge. I then travelled over to Westfall to finish up from 59 to 60, and then I headed into the next part. Now, the next part for me was I had 4 zones, in Northrend to complete for Wrath of the Lich King Lore Master, and I had 2 zones in the Burning Crusade. So what I decided to do was go and do the Wrath of the Lich King ones, and when I'm leveling my Lightforged, I'll finish off the Burning Crusade ones. So for Northrend, I went to, for Wrath of the Lich King, I went Borean Tundra, which I'm not a fan of Borean Tundra, let me just say it right now. I think this was a shitty zone for fast leveling. I did not enjoy it one bit. I then went over to Grizzly Hills because I needed it, and that was terrible yet again. I then travelled to Ice Crown. Now, Ice Crown is where another real change came to my little perception of leveling. So leveling, as I've said, it used to be this thing that was in the way. Get out of my way so I can get to max level. And the way that we used to go even faster over these speed humps was heirlooms. So I put on my heirlooms and then I was unstoppable. Nothing could stop us. Pull everything, kill it. Leveling now in those larger quests, the best way I can compare it is to like serving sizes on a package. So if you get pasta and it says average serving size, you know, six servings per box, and you look at it and you giggle your ass off and you think challenge accepted. Now that's actually the case. So Ice Crown finishes up with like, I don't know, 8 to 10 5-man quests. But you actually need 5 people to complete them. A couple of the 3-mans, if you've got like a prot spec or something like that, a real ability to kite, you can probably do them, no worries. I had to switch to prot for a few of the 3-mans and I was okay, and even some of the 5-mans, some. However, some of them are just impossible even in your heirlooms now, which was not something that we saw before. So I had to resort to that old school leveling of / who in a zone, and excuse me, Mr. or Mrs. or person, can you please come and kill my quest mob? Or someone on my friends list, I need you to come all the way over to Old Northrend and kill a quest mob for me because I'm stuck. And that obviously chewed out time massively, but that's what leveling is now. Leveling is you actually, it's a full-on experience is the best way I can think to describe this. So from Ice Crown, when I finished up, I went over to Storm Peaks and I just sort of finished up there. And being Arthas and fighting Illidan and things like that, like there was a whole bunch of quests that I had actually no idea ever existed in this game that were actually really cool. And I found this out by being able to complete zones because, as I said in the sort of start bit when we were talking about this, you would just race through things, half completing zones, moving on to the next one. But from this change, I actually got to find out a whole bunch of quests that I'd never even seen in game before or knew existed. So from the Storm Peaks, I finished up and then I headed off to my next choice, which was Cataclysm or Mists of Pandaria. Now, when Mists was actually out, I can't say I was a huge fan of Mists of Pandaria. I don't know why, like I liked the raids and Siege of Orgrimmar and Heart of Fear and all that kind of stuff. Like I had no problems with the actual raids. I think it was just the setting and the Kung Fu Panda vibe and things like that I really didn't dig. However, I needed things for Mists of Pandaria Loremaster, so I went, big surprise, to Mists of Pandaria. I gotta say, this changed my whole perception of Mists of Pandaria. Jade Forest and Kunlai Summit have really, really good quest lines. The quests are really good, the story's really good, and it just gave me a whole new appreciation for MOP playing through this that I didn't have beforehand. And I wouldn't have had unless they changed this scaling world where I actually spend that entire time in that zone. So hats off, I had a really good time through Mists of Pandaria. I finished Kunlai Summit up and I was still like 70% into level 89, so I finished the last bit off in Taolong, and then I was off into WoD. Now I did the Warlords of Draenor intro, and I know you can skip it, you can go to the Timeless Isle, in the cave, take the portal, go up to Gorgorond. However, I, Dorothy, and Yellow Brick Roaded this shit. I just followed the path. So the WoD intro was a little slow, that was like 50 minutes. Then it was, for that level, sorry, including the intro was 50 minutes. And then the turbo button gets hit. So then it's like somebody supercharges your VL Turbo Griffin, and you pretty much just fly around and collect treasures for the entirety of WoD. It is crazy. So I went Shadow Moon Valley, Gorgrond, Talador, and the bonus points around the map, and that was pretty much it, and I was done. And they were very quick. They were, I say very quick for me, they were like 24 sort of 24 to 18, couple of blowouts to 30 minutes per level. That was very, very quick once you got that, and it was merely just getting handy notes and flying around the map collecting treasures. You do your garrison setup, get your XP potion. If you want to take it a step further and you're even more organized, you can go to Spires of Arik when you hit 96, I think, get your outpost, which is an extra 20% XP, and blast through it that way. But I kind of just did this by the seat of my pants. I really didn't know sort of what I was doing. I was just flying around collecting things on handy notes. I didn't know the best zones to go for. So once I hit 98, I came over to Legion. I did the Legion intro, which again, I know you can skip, but I was just being Dorothy on that road. I did an invasion pretty much straight up off the bat, and that was 26 minutes for a level. The invasions, if you can catch them, are extremely fast to level. You get about 1 level per invasion. It is insane. You've just got to be home to catch them. Now, from 98 to 110, I only managed to catch 3 invasions. Which was really tilting, because I would have loved to have just leveled via invasions if I had been home to be able to just get up and do the invasions. However, that wasn't the case for me at the moment, so I went through Stormheim and I went through High Mountain. I queued up for Halls of Valor, which was a giant mistake and blew my level completely out. Again, I think questing is, if you're after speed here, questing is just the way to go. Otherwise, getting a 110 to streamroll you through dungeons is also going to be extremely fast. But otherwise, just stick to questing. And, you know, I have no real issues with that. They made all these massive changes to Scaling World to get us out in the world and improve that experience. We may as well be out there. So that was pretty much the route I took to level. Now, in terms of time, total time to level was 47 hours from level 20 to 110. Now, I think that's probably pretty slow. As I said, though, I picked the areas I needed for Lore Master, not necessarily the areas that would have been best suited for speed. So I probably lost a hell of a lot of time in flying around different zones and things like that to do that. But that's the advantage now with the leveling changes, that you're able to kind of do that. And for me, I wanted to complete Lore Master because I always kind of hated leveling. I just wanted to get it over and done with as quick as I could. And Lore Master was never something that mattered to me. But now with these chapters, I'm like, this is an easy way to do it with the scaling zones. So to give you a breakdown, my level 20 to level 40 average level time was 19 minutes 48. From 20 to 60, it was 25 minutes and 27 seconds. From 40 to 60, it was 28 minutes and 46 seconds. From 20 to 80, it was 37 minutes. From 60 to 80, it was 53 minutes 50. From 20 to 100, it was 36 minutes and 3 seconds. From level 80 to 100, it was 34 minutes and 37 seconds. And level 20 to 100, my average level time was 35 minutes and 35 seconds. So that was what I averaged from 20 to 100. And again, it probably could have been a lot quicker if I had known what I was doing and I didn't screw things up and I got stuck in a cave in Borean Tundra and I lost an escort quest and it wouldn't respawn and just all types of crap. But yeah, someone that knows what they're doing could do this a hell of a lot quicker. So looking at this, I don't think it's that bad. 47 hours of game time to level. I don't know if it's that bad, especially when you could probably do it a hell of a lot quicker. You could probably do it in maybe 35 hours comfortably if you knew what you were doing, probably. And you had, you know, the pathing set out, or you were familiar with the quests and the right zones to go through. So I don't think that's that bad. It used to be a hell of a lot quicker, 100%. However, this brings about that change that I was talking about. Leveling now is not a speed hump, it is an experience. And I think Blizzard have done a really good job with this. The customization in regards to what expansion path you want to take, what zone path you want to take, it really brings something new to leveling. A couple of things that I would love to point out is Cons Legion is a fantastic add-on to use once you get into Legion. Now, not that leveling in Legion is hard. It's not. It's very, very easy. No one disagrees with that. Cons Legion, however, just makes it stupid autopilot easy. So if you are leveling through Legion at the moment and you're not just waiting on invasions, I would suggest getting Cons Legion. It is fantastic. Another add-on that I'm going to get when I level my Lightforged is Storyline. Now, this will make leveling slow. This will not make leveling faster at all. Storyline, however, kind of revolutionizes the in-depth experience you get from leveling. It really brings like a console leveling element sort of into it, and really brings the story like a storyboard to it. So I'm going to use Storyline when I level next, and I'm just going to enjoy it. For me, I really tried, even though unlimited WoW time, I tried to get through my levels as quick as I could, sort of based around wanting to get this video out, and that just blew well out of the water. So, but after doing it, I still found the process so different and interesting that I wanted to make a video about it so I could talk to you guys about it and see what you thought. So that is pretty much it for me, guys. I hope I kind of didn't rattle around the same points over and over again. I generally just like to do these kind of free speech and just go nuts on camera. But yeah, it's just very different. I had to have a completely different approach and viewpoint in my mental state on leveling, because I couldn't just heirloom up, pull everything and smash it down, and levels weren't going as quick as they used to, and people in dungeons were, you know, dying and terrible and over pulling, or, you know, it was very, very, very different. But I think good different. I think this is a fantastic change, and I think it brings an achievement and a meaning back to leveling. So going through this process actually means something, and when you get there, you actually feel proud of what you've done, versus it was just something that was in my way. So that is my 2 cents. Would love to know if you've been leveling from 0 to 100, if you've 110, sorry, if you've been knocking out your allied races. How fast are you doing it if you're a much better leveler than I am? You know, what kind of time, what kind of path are you taking through the expansions, the zones? What is the quickest way if you're someone that's done it, you know, over and over? Let it in the comments. I would love to have a chat about it, and even learn for myself maybe when I go on the Lightforge path, so I can make this a little bit quicker for myself. But thank you very much for taking the time to check out the video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. See you guys.